All right, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Tacos in Europa. I am Jorge.
My name's Edgar.
And we're here to talk about the preview for tomorrow's game, which is Mexico versus Costa Rica, or today's game, we listen to it, Mexico versus Costa Rica. But before we start to talk about that, we're going to talk about the under-23 team that also plays in Costa Rica today when we're filming this. And they win 2-1 to get that gold medal in the Central American and Caribbean Games. How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, that was great. Even though the Central American Games aren't like the Olympics or a World Cup for under 23, it's a good competition. It's a good win for the team. They have been like a couple of great players from it. I feel like, okay, there's talent there. Now you have to follow up.
Yeah.
They have to play because they showed up.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good, like, performance, I think. Out of the whole competition, I kind of saw him a little jumpy, and I think this is one of the games where I saw him look the best. It was the second half, like, probably till that, like, 75th, 80th minute, where it was kind of looking a little shaky, and it was looking like Costa Rica was going to tie that 2-2. They actually scored one goal, and it was looking like it was going to be a 2-2. But, you know, we held our ground. Everything was really good. Edson Ayon, man, he scored both those goals, and even though he didn't have, like, a crazy tournament, like, he didn't look like good in his movements. It wasn't like anything special. He did score the most goals. He was the top scorer for Mexico. He scored 2 goals today to take us to the gold medal. And you can't argue against that. You know, you can't argue against results. So he was where he had to be, and he had a very, very good position, man. It was a good performance for him.
Yeah, even though I keep saying the shining jewel of this team is Ambris.
Ambris is good. Yeah, captain.
He's the
captain
captain. He's the one with the most minutes on the first division. I think he's the great player from here. Even though I saw also like Carrillo was great, Guerrero from the Sur was great, Westcats had a couple of things, and
Carrillo was amazing. What are you talking about? Great.
Oh, come on, Ambris was better. Anyway, we're not gonna fight about this. And Dragon Garcia.
Man, like,
he's a good player. He has a great nickname, and he has a great mustache. He is going to get cameras on him, and he's gonna get a team. I hope he gets a team.
He's the whole package, man. Like, he's the whole package. I hope he gets. I mean, you could send him to Juarez with that project they have going on. I mean, I think he would be a great project if they want to take on that as well. You know, since they're doing all that youth project over there in Juarez. But yeah, man, what a great goal. He did get scored on that one, but it was a set piece, so it is what it is.
No, it was a great goal.
Beautiful goal.
Nothing you can do about it.
Couldn't do anything about it. But everybody else, man, great game. Everybody looked great. This was my favorite game out of the whole tournament. Not just because it was a final, but because we looked at the best.
Even though the other two games, the friendlies on Europe, those were bad.
Besides those, those were great. But in this tournament, this was by far my favorite one to watch. But other than that, that's pretty much it. You know, we got the gold medal. Congrats to the guys. But let's talk about the major team, Mike. We're gonna play against also Costa Rica today when you guys listen to this podcast episode. And let's talk first about Costa Rica. How are they coming into this match?
Well, they had a rough cup. You know, they start really badly, and they have been improving a little by little. Their last game, they scored 6 goals. They got scored 4, but they got scored in 4. But still, I mean,
you scored 6.
That's a goal, even though the difference is only 2. Still, I think Costa Rica is gonna come to this game like on a positive mentality.
Yeah.
And they have this player from Leon, like Campbell, that has been pretty good. You know, like he has been.
He had a cat trick already in his bag for this tournament.
Yeah. He has been playing well. So still, this is not the Costa Rica that's a pain in the ass to play against. You know, like Keylor Navas is not playing, so you know that okay, I can score against this Costa Rica. So I don't think they're gonna be big problem for Mexico. The bigger problem for Mexico is their mentality right now, because they come from this loss against Qatar, and I don't know how Jimmy is gonna fix this down. Because they went from really positive 2 matches to the loss, and everyone turned against them.
Yeah. What says you
Like,
started there? Like, talk to me how Mexico's coming into this match now.
that's the thing. Yes, Mexico's going in from this like sad place to call it something. So we need to see the strength that I sometimes perceive in Jimmy Lozano, that is talk to the players. Like to get to the players and keep them on a positive state so they can really focus on the game. I don't know if he can do this with the main team, but he has done it in the past. He lost a game on the group stage of the Olympics, so it is not his first, in this kind of tournament.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a roller coaster. You had that down with Coca, you came up again with Lozano, and then you came back down a little bit with the Qatar loss.
Yeah. That's the national team.
Yeah, it is a lot of the story of our lives. But other than that, like I think that it was like it's a big excuse out there, the fact that we were resting players, it was like it wasn't the full strength team, whatever. To me, that's not a big excuse, because Canada and United States are both considered B teams, and they're both beating the people that they have to beat. Qatar was a team that you have to beat, even if you're using your U23 team, So that to me isn't that big of a
still, we had like 17 shots on goal. It just didn't win in.
Yeah, the game was played. It just wasn't to our advantage. There was a lot of bad luck. So to me, it's like that's not an excuse. I still believe in the Jimmy. I still think we're gonna have a good game against Costa Rica, and I'm still at full force. I want him to stay as a coach, but it's still not an excuse to me to say like, oh no, like they didn't have a full team. He has to be able to win against Qatar, no matter what. But give me what you think is gonna be the lineup for this game, ENG.
I think the lineup is gonna be pretty similar to the first two games. Only a couple of key differences. Cesar Montes is gonna come back.
Yeah.
So we know he's going back into the center back.
He has to.
The main defense is gonna look a lot like the Olympics, with Jorge Sanchez, Cesar Montes, Johan Vasquez, and Gallardo. I think Gallardo is gonna be the left fullback. Then the midfield. Now that's where the changes are gonna come in, because I think he's gonna go with Edson Alvarez. I think Jimmy is having the main idea that Edson is the captain of the field. Even though Ochoa is the one wearing the ribbon. I mean, when you are on the goal, you can't really change anything.
You can't give directions like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be Edson Alvarez, Luis Chavez, and the other guy is gonna be the change. Either you stay with Sanchez or you go with Romo. I think it's gonna be Romo, and then Henry or Medina and Antonio.
Yeah. And that right back spot is the one that's just kind of like, it looked like it's going to be Sanchez, like you said.
Well,
but, there's not much to pick from. There was a talk about, like, somebody was saying about maybe putting a center back there or putting someone more defensive to fix those defensive issues that happen as, like, a trickle-down effect when the right back makes an error. But I don't, like you were saying, like, we don't see really Jimmy experimenting like that, especially right now. So it'll be interesting to see the lineup that he puts up. I hope he does something different. He surprises in some way, but I don't know if it's going to be that much of a surprise.
Yeah, he does change his players. He sometimes put a center back on the midfield. He'll sometimes put the Romo either as a pivot or as a 10. He does make little changes, but he's not big on this like systematic changes for his lineup. I don't see him putting a center back on the right. I just don't see it, especially because we don't have a center back with that much experience. If it was Johan on the left, I can see it.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Tell me now about like the kind of like the state of feeling around the national team right now. Like, what are people saying? How's social media? How's the the press? How's it feeling right now?
I mean, it's social media, so it's a shit show. But no, especially there's been a couple of years that the social media talk around the national team has been really bad. Like there's never anything good. Like the feeling is that the conversation is more fun for the users, the guys on social media when it's bad. Mexico won against Jamaica. Of course, it's Jamaica. It's never positive,
Yeah.
Like, Mexico lost against Wales. of course they suck. That's like the I the sentiment is always negative,
Yeah,
and
and then,
I don't know how you
even
fix
when
it.
you win, you lose. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's things like that. You know, the press. You know, it's always like that. So it
and
must
it's
take a
getting to the
toll. Yeah,
play.
it must take a toll on their mental health, man. In general, just like,
Yeah,
oh, you do something good, it's bad. You do something bad, it's terrible. So you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, Javier Marte was talking about how like they have like that. They're like a psychologist on the team. I think they
okay.
probably always had it, but they're talking about it now as well. They have group sessions, they have individual sessions, and they have to just keep doing that. You know, stick together as a team and just try to like knock out the negativity and just keep going, bring back the energy that we saw in the first game of the Gold Cup. If we can
Yeah,
keep doing that, if Jimmy can, like you said, bring the group together, which is what he's there for, I think he has a good shot at staying. So hopefully we have a good game right here in Costa Rica. So let's talk about the bracket real quick. If we win this game, we go against either Guatemala or Jamaica, or Jamaica, whoever wins that game. And then if we make it to the final, the other side of the bracket is going to be Canada B, USA B, Qatar, or Panama. I say B because they brought their B team, so I just want to clarify that. But yeah, it's looking like a pretty fun rest of the tournament. It's looking pretty enjoyable. I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow or today against Costa Rica. And I mean, I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see how it's going to go. But before we say goodbye to everybody, tell us about the gossip real quick. What did you see on social media? What is looking like it's going to happen in the transfer window?
I mean, we say gossip, though, even though it's not really gossip. It's Julian Quiñones finally has been finished his passport.
Yeah, that's a sure one. That's a
Papers.
for sure one.
He is for sure now Mexican,
Yeah,
and he will be able to be considered for the national team. He's probably gonna get called up in the next few
next window, whatever the next window.
the international break. And then there is that Lara is being followed by Spanish teams from the second division, Valladolid especially. So I don't know, Emilio Lara from America, he had a really, really good season, and then just this terrible season last season. So I don't know what to make of him. I think he has a really high ceiling, though he needs to like get pushed into it and help his mentality mainly. And then now gossip with a capital G. They're saying the Mexican national team is looking at Zidane to be the manager. And I mean, if you have ever seen smoke in the news, this is it. This is the smokiest rumor I have seen in
my
a while.
church league team is looking for Zidane, bro. So I think it's the same weight. I think it's the same weight for that. But yeah, I mean, those are the things that we have for today. So we'll see you guys again the next day after the game to talk about how it went. Hopefully everything went well. Real quick, how do you think the score is going to go?
I think it's going to be a 2-1.
2-1. I'm gonna say 3-0. I'm optimistic about this. I think Lamborghini is gonna come back in full force. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. It was a quick preview of the game against Costa Rica. We'll see what happens. I am Jorge.
My name is Edgar.
See you guys tomorrow night.